a show of hands, who's here and you're in your own business? Looking at, okay, continue to move forward. Looking to stay in the same type of career that you're currently in. Who's here looking for a job, want to stay there? And then finally, you're trying to transition to a new role. Okay. All that information is key, because what happens when you've got great information from some great speakers and they share it with you about how to put your resume together, your resume or your bio, and then we talked about some social media and how to do that on LinkedIn. Those things are important and key, and you want to take that information, and then it's time to do some great things. What we want to do is what to expect next. So what do you expect next? What's possible for you? And I want to talk about that and some of the benefits as we talk about a certain law called the law of reflection. It's all about growth. And whatever you're doing, you want to take information, you want to move it to the next level, and to help you get there, you need to learn how to pause in life and reflect on the information that you received. And then we'll just talk about quickly how to connect with me, so I'll be quick. So if you can just move to the next slide. These are some key things that you can do now that you have the information. You have some good information on value add about your resume or your bio. Because if you're in your own business or if you're transitioning, you want to start putting a bio together. You want to think about who you are and really reflect on the information. You know, we talked about clarity. Everything we talked about is really around clarity. Who am I? What's important to me? So it's really important that you get some clarity, which is going to lead to self-confidence. Because if you're looking, I heard some people say, I don't have or a question we had, I don't have a degree. A degree is not everything. This will take you further than a degree. Your self-confidence and your self-worth. So that's really important as you start reflecting on this information and building out some questions that you want to ask for yourself. And as you do that, you have a discovery period. It was so great. Mr. Smith gave us some questions that we can answer as we build our profile out on LinkedIn. Those same questions, I don't have it in front of me, but those same questions are reflection questions on who you are and help you to think about who you are as you put your information together for your profile on LinkedIn and build your resume. So that's really important. And always your past experiences. Now, if you don't have a degree, who cares? You got experience. Experience is important. Where you've been is so important, because where you've been and where you are now is a full awareness of who I am. I know who I am, and I can sell myself regardless of where I am and where I'm going. You know, you want to develop your elevator speech. You know, Mrs. Smith talked about have your elevator speech together and be able to share that. You know, take some time and reflect on who you are. So that's really important. Insight. Everyone here that I spoke to have insight from their past. And that's really important as you move forward and understanding you and developing your resume, your bio, putting yourself on LinkedIn and any other social network. So you want to know your interests and your opportunities. They become clear. You know, what do I like to do? So this is really going to help you and enrich your thinking. I think we all talked about this. It's so important because it provides you the ability to align, you know, your choices and in the direction that you're going. If it is to stay in the same career, is it to move forward to a different career, or even if it's going forward in your own business, you can have some better choices because you're starting to look and see who you are. So think about the information that you got today, your value add, and then you go forward. Okay, next slide. Talking too much. Okay, I'm going to quickly give you some golden nuggets and some questions to think about. And you know what? I can email this information over and you can forward to you. What is your biggest asset? It's normally a mental trait, and my biggest asset is that I am very persistent and I'm very determined. Determination is my key. And then you also want to look at, you know, any of your liabilities. It's normally an attitude or a habit you have. I take on the world because I think I can conquer the world, but then I get sidetracked. And so I have to really watch it in my planning. So let's move to the next slide. I'm just going to give you a couple quotes. These are key for me, for my determination. It's the size of one's will which determines your success. It's not just everything on a piece of paper, but your will. What are you really determined to get there? Your persistence, being very persistent. I am extremely persistent. I can tell you a story, but for the sake of time, I'm going to hold that story. Challenges are what make life interesting. But it's the overcoming them is what makes it meaningful. So that's what's going to really give you. You're going to always have challenges, but you want to overcome those things. So that's very important. Next slide, please. So let's look at the other nuggets that I want to share. What is most fulfilling to you? Pay attention to your passion, even in your current job. What is it that you really like to do? And start writing and looking at and narrowing the scope. If you're in a position you think that you're stuck, you can move forward as you start looking at those interests and look at the opportunities around you and what gives you energy. You want to know that information. What really strokes don't forget that. What makes you say, I was made for this? I was made for. So you want to start looking at that information. And what do I prize most highly? Now, I got to share this because for me, it's faith. It can be a lot of different things. It can be a personal trait, but it can be an achievement. But I had one thing that I had, and I want to kind of tie it into the other story, is my faith. I know no matter where I am, excuse me, but I'm going to say it. Jeremiah 29:11 says, the plans I have for Beverly is to prosper Beverly and not to harm Beverly. To give Beverly a hope and a future. See, I always have a hope in the future. And when I came here, and in 4 months, I was out of a job because it did not work. But I knew it was a plan because I was supposed to be here. And with that plan, I started moving forward, and I got a better job. I've been laid off 3 times. I was laid off 3 times in the 6 years that I was in Georgia. And through that transition, I was an IT project manager, but I transitioned into what I'm doing today because I started opening up in the window, and I said, I'm good with teams. I love to help people rise up and become who they are and unleashing that leadership giant in them. And that's what I do. So I start helping people to understand who they are. I said, you know what? This is a career for me. And I start transitioning to my career out of all of that. So, next slide. So for me, trusting in advance what will only make sense in reverse. Trusting when I got here, there was a plan to take me further. And so if you're in a current career, you're not sure where you're going, but trusting the plan, you don't have to see everything. And now today it makes sense what was happening because every path that I took has led me here today. So just real quickly, how to reach Beverly. Here's mine. I wanted to share this information. I do a class every 4th Monday. It's a free class. You'll get this information also when it's emailed out. So it's suiting you in the right leadership armor. And I'm talking about different leadership laws and how to strengthen yourself. Next slide. Last slide. And here's some information, just how to reach me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, email address, all that great stuff. Without further ado, I'm done.
Okay,